Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fringe Coverage. This podcast profiles the stories, swings, and stars of the LPGA Tour. And whether you're new to women's golf or a longtime fan, hopefully this podcast helps you develop your own rooting interest in women's professional golf. And today we are joined by LET and LPGA golfer Olivia Cowan. Raised in Germany, Olivia's golf journey started from a young age, doing her homework in the pro shop where her parents worked, and she's now been competing professionally for over a decade. Undoubtedly one of golf's best social media follows, you can find her rocking incredible style on and off the course, hunting down the perfect flat white in cafes around the world through her Coffee Chronicle series, and doing it all with a smile. Olivia, welcome to Fringe Coverage.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Well, first off, I wish we were doing this in the morning for you so we could ask you what coffee we're drinking in the moment, but I think we're holding you up from dinner. So
yeah, just electrolytes to keep me going through this heat.
Yeah, well, let's start right there. Where are you calling from today?
I'm currently at home in the UK and we are experiencing a very hot summer. So it's great because none of the houses have AC. So it's very hot, as you can imagine.
So how are you going about your golf training right now?
Well, usually you just try and hit a few balls and then you seek for whatever shade you can find for a few minutes and then reload. It's so hot at the minute, but you got to get through it. It's kind of like Florida.
Okay.
I mean, I can't complain. It's not raining.
So do you do iced coffee?
I do. I have actually been doing I'll do a hot coffee in the morning when I wake up and then an iced coffee when I go out in the afternoon. So we're a bit too obsessed with coffee, me and my partner, and we've got a whole cafe set up at home and we have to-go cups to take with us. And I even bought the plastic iced coffee, like Starbucks cups the other day. So yeah, we've gone all out.
Did I hear you have a logo?
Yes. I mean, so I made so my boyfriend is even more obsessed with coffee than me. And I got him, for his birthday, I got him a little stamp with his own coffee shop logo on it. So he can stamp all the to-go cups. So when people come around, they have the real coffee shop experience, you know? And then we framed it and put it in a little photo frame. So it's above our coffee machine. So it's a full setup.
Wow.
Oh, I love it. I know that my iced coffee addiction reached a new level when I was making hot coffee and letting it cool down and pouring it into ice cube trays. So then I had ice cubes made of coffee. So then when I put them in my iced coffee, my coffee doesn't get diluted.
Yeah.
So that's next level.
That is next level. I'm not sure I'm there yet.
Well, hey, great interview. Just what you thought you were going to be talking about when you came on today, Olivia. Let's start here. I mentioned in the intro, you've got a pretty deep history with golf. Just for the listeners' sake, give a little bit of background on how you started with the game of golf.
Yeah, so I started when I was 3 years old, and my dad is a golf coach, so he kind of pushed me into it, as you would say. And I loved it from a very young age. So I was obsessed with going to the range and hitting balls. And I mean, I grew up on the golf course. My mum was working in the pro shop. My dad was the coach there. So I was always there after school and whenever we had free time. So yeah, that's how I started. I grew up playing it, loved it, and decided to turn it into a profession.
So I'm fascinated by the mental side of when you first get introduced to a sport by your parents. I have a 3-year-old daughter as we speak. So Olivia, I'm going in the backyard right after this with my 3-year-old Charlie to see how she likes it. But at what point did golf become your sport as opposed to just being a byproduct of the family business?
That is a great question. I would say probably, do you know what? Probably only the last few years. Probably since I moved out, I think it became more of just a me thing. I don't think it's ever been fully mine. It's harsh to say, but I do think I was kind of pushed into something that I don't know at the time if that was what I wanted to do. But I did it anyways because I was good at it. So I continued playing golf, and everything kind of centered around golf. Nothing was more important than that. I got into the regional teams, I got into the national team, and I did always want to be the best. So it wasn't something that, I wasn't just doing it because I was forced to. I did love it, and I did want to be the best at it. But there was probably still a part of me that wishes, maybe I could have explored something else as well. I think it's quite hard when you come from, a very golf-driven family, where everything evolves around that sport, to kind of break away from that.
Do you remember the exact time when you became the best golfer in your family?
I think I would say maybe like 15.
Wow.
15. I mean, my dad's a pro, so it was kind of hard. That was a hard one to crack, but I would say 15, 16, I was better than him.
What were the first achievements? So in the golf, I grew up trying to compete with my dad on anything, and whether it was playing basketball, the first time I could block his shot or beat him in a game, before a full round of golf happens where you beat your dad, what are some of the earlier things you remember of, whether it's trying to outdrive him, or what are some of the competitions you had early on with your dad that you were trying to beat him?
So I never really did too much with my dad. It was more that my mum was always there, because my dad was always working all day, and my mum had a much freer schedule. So she was always the one that, took us to tournaments, helped me practice. And then I also had my brother as well, who's a year younger than me. And we would always kind of have little competitions against each other. So I think that was probably the thing that helped me a lot with my golf. But I mean, to be honest, when I was younger, I remember getting picked up from school and my mum just driving us to the tournament at our golf club, and us having a 10-minute warm-up, jumping on the golf course. And I did not want to play. I was not wanting to do it. But then I played good, and I was amazing, and I was in a great mood, but I didn't want to play when I got there. So it's been a very love-hate kind of up and down relationship with the sport.
Well, speaking about your game, how is your game feeling now?
It feels good. I think I'm trying to make a couple changes in my swing at the minute. That's more towards, I know, rough timing.
Yeah.
But mid-season. But I think it's more due to help my body move in a certain way to prevent injuries. I am getting older now. I have been doing it for a very long time, and I think my body is not liking how many times I have to swing a golf club every day. So I'm trying to do a couple changes here and there just to help my body out, and so I can do it a little bit longer.
So are these more swing technical pieces, or the way you approach training?
It's not technically a swing change. It's more of how my body should be moving towards my swing. Okay. So it's like very little movements, but it's more like emphasizing, using the muscles that I have to my advantage with my swing that I just haven't been using before. So not necessarily a golf technical thing, but it's hopefully just going to help me prevent, injuries and stuff.
Man, you meant that it's a mid-season changes. I know you're probably not getting the competitive reps you want to be able to implement those changes in real time. How are you? Let's talk a little. We mentioned in the intro, obviously you have split time between the LPGA and the LET. You're one of the first people we've had a chance to talk to about what that balance looks like. And really just as you start each season and you look at how you're going to go about setting your schedule, knowing you need to leave some room for if and when you play well, it might get you some new opportunities. What goes into balancing and planning across those two tours?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think I've come to realize that it's impossible to play on both tours. You kind of just have to decide. And I think that's where I went wrong. When I had my full status and I finished in the top 80 on the LPGA, I wanted to still do both tours. I wanted to, I've grown up playing on the LET. I've been on the LET most of my career. I didn't want to just give that up. I still want to support the tour. I still want to play out there. And I love playing in Europe as well. So I still wanted to have that aspect of it. But if you play on LPGA, the season is so long. There are so many tournaments. And most of the time, you just can't afford to miss a tournament. So it was really hard. And I think I've had to deal with those consequences the last couple of years. Now I'm kind of, I'm focusing on the events that I can get into on the LPGA and really trying to get as many points as I can. And if I get into that top 80 position again, I think it's just, I mean, you can play a few tournaments here and there on LET, but you could never do like balance it 50-50. It's impossible.
Your profession sounds stressful enough. I think people can kind of over glamorize what your world looks like, and I'm sure you can talk all about that. But as I look at your 2026, up until just recently at the KPMG, you'd made all your cuts this year on the LPGA. Are you a goal setter? And if so, what are your hopes for this season and especially the rest of the way?
I would say my goal this season is to finish in, top 80, top 100 on the LPGA. Obviously, I'm already on the back foot because I haven't played a few events at the start of the year because I didn't get into them straight away. So every event for me counts. So it's like it's added pressure, but I'm trying not to see it that way. And I think once you get the ball rolling and you're playing some good golf, it can easily happen. But yeah, when that happened, I'd say that is my goal, just to finish top 80, top 100. And if once I do that, then obviously you can set a new goal and try and focus more on, I'd try and focus more on LPGA the next year, and I wouldn't try and make the same mistakes as what I did in previous years. So I've learned from it, and hopefully, we can grow from there.
How do the attendees of the tournament differ between the LET and the LPGA?
Do you mean the players or the fans?
No,
or
the fans that are actually on the course with you.
fans? I would say there are a lot more fans out on the LPGA. It really depends on like where we're playing. Some events get a lot more fans out than others, but it's definitely more than on LET. I mean, I've had a few scary experiences with fans in America, not in Europe yet, but in America I've had a few. So that's different.
Dare I ask what you mean by that?
I've had a few experiences of fans thinking that they've been messaging with me directly, thinking we're friends or in relationships and stuff, and they've come to these events and they've had to be security and had to take them away and stuff like that. So I've not really experienced that before until I came to America.
And you're pluralizing this? This has happened more than once.
Yeah, it's happened a few times. Yeah.
Oh, sorry
Can
to
I
hear
just
that.
apologize for our nation? My Lord. You look at the PGA Tour and the event they have out in Phoenix, where it kind of is purposely a party, that entire atmosphere of people. While I would love for the LPGA to have its version of a really avid fan base, I fear for the LPGA having a version of that for the reasons you just listed, of a women's sport where there are, in a sport that generically speaking has a lot of men that are there drinking. It's weird to have it both ways. Like I want nothing more than it to be 10x the number of fans there are currently at an LPGA event, but I wonder at what cost that happens. Is that something you guys ever think about what the growth of fans look like and maybe what the makeup of that fan base might look like?
I mean, it's great to see that obviously the fan base is growing on the LPGA and in women's golf, and we're loving the support and how many people want to, are inspired by the sport and how we play it. But yeah, I think for me, the most frustrating thing is you get a lot of people watch the women's golf and say, oh, it's very, relatable. And, it's very, and it, for me personally, I think it's a little bit annoying to hear that, because we've worked so hard over years and years and years to become so good. And for someone to say, who has handicap 30, say it's relatable, it's almost like a disrespect. Like, you would never say that to Rory McIlroy or Scotty Scheffler. No one would ever say, oh, that's relatable. And it's the same, like, we do the same thing. So I don't know where that comes from. And it almost just knocks us down a bit.
That is so on the nose. Maybe a month into this podcast, I asked Tom almost the exact question of, is the word relatable condescending? It's stripped down to its basics. The idea of you and I might be hitting from the same spot. The relatability ends there, right?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And so there needs to be a different conversation there, or a way to describe that, because the whole point of why we started this podcast is from that exact same spot, what you do with the golf ball is insane compared to whatever horrific shot I'm about to go hit. And while I'm not the 30 handicap, I'm by no means a scratch golfer either. So I think that relatability thing it's very heavily used. And I think it's a distance related comment, right? Especially with the way the men's game is outgrown so much. And it's why we love the LPGAs. So many courses are built at the scale that the professional women play the game. So we get to see the Rivieras of the world shine and not get brought to their knees because you can go driver wedge on every hole. Yeah. I'm going to put you on the spot here. How would you want someone to describe what it is they like about the LPGA, knowing that a lot of it comes from that feeling of familiarity from a distance perspective?
Look, in the men's game, everyone admires, the variability of their shots and how far they hit it. I mean, that's probably the number one. Everyone's, baffled on how far the guys can hit it. For the women, I think you got to look at other aspects of the game. Our short game is incredible, and the accuracy of the tee and into the green is, I think, better than the men. But that's never really, it's not the first talking point. It's always, it's very relatable. And I'm like, yeah, but what? What's relatable? That we're hitting it kind of the same distance, but then everything else is so different. Like, emphasize what we're good at.
I don't care what club you're using to hit it 160 yards. If you're sticking it within 3 feet of the pin, that's incredible. Yeah. You use a 7, use a 5. I don't care. But to be able to do that, on such in a situation, always endlessly impressive to me.
Yeah, as well, like, when I think about it, because obviously my boyfriend, he does the same thing. He's a professional golfer. He plays on the DP World Tour. And so I see it from both sides. I go and watch him at tournaments, and I come back to my tournaments. And one thing that I would say, and the one thing that holds us back in women's golf, is the course setups are so bad. They are not good enough, and they are not letting us show off our craft enough. And it annoys me because I go to the men's events and I see the clubs that they are hitting into pins, and we're having the same pins, but they're hitting an 8-iron and we're hitting a 5-iron into a tucked pin on the left. And I'm just thinking, with firm greens, and I'm thinking, well, how am I supposed to show you what I can do? Because it's physically impossible. My launch angle is so much lower than the guys. Like, it's not going to stop. It's going to look stupid. So I think for me in women's golf, that is something that we could improve. And if they, were able to improve the course setups, I think women's golf could elevate in, a way that we haven't seen before.
Tom, I can already tell you what clip I'm snipping from this interview and putting on social media immediately. We're not doing enough to separate the skill sets at the top either from a course setup perspective. Of a lot of things can kind of get washed together depending on the way those courses are being set. If someone has that amazing skill to hold that 6-iron on a green, on a firm green, I want the people who have that, especially approach play iron skill, I want to be able to see it and have it be on display on TV. And I feel like the LPGA does not do a great job of allowing those people to shine.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think that's something that we definitely need to work on. we get to some places and there are some decisions and everyone just rolls their eyes and it's like, what are we doing here? I mean, we got put back on a tee a few weeks ago, par three. It's already a 5-iron into a front pin, hybrid into the back, and we're getting put back. Some girls are hitting driver. We're hitting 3-wood to a front pin. Like, no one wants to watch that.
No.
The spectators must be watching it thinking this is so boring. We're
Well,
seeing people hit a wood and try and bounce it on the green. Like, that's not golf. Come on.
it also amplifies unintentionally the difference between the women's and men's game of people can watch it if they are the general fan that maybe they've just tuned into the LPGA for the first time. All they're going to say is they can't even get a 3-wood to a par 3. Like they're not, but they won't have any of the context of why that's an issue.
Exactly.
Have you, over the course of your professional career, been tempted to change your game in a relatively like big or drastic way based on you see certain, whether you feel you need to chase speed or a certain skill that everyone else is doing a certain way? Have you felt the need to change the core of who you are as a golfer?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm quite strong-willed in that sense. You know, I've had a lot of people say I need to do this, I need to do that, but if I think it's not good for me, then I'm not going to do it. I think the only thing that I obviously have looked at is, you know, trying to get a little bit more distance because,
Sure.
you know, you want to hit it further and keep up with the longer hitters because it does make the game easier. So that's probably something that I was chasing. And I think the only thing when I just came on the LPGA, I felt like I needed to do a lot more practice around events, which is not me. I mean, anyone who knows me knows that I'm not the best at practicing. I don't enjoy it as much as, you know, competing. So I do what I feel like I need to do, and then that's good with me. But when I came on tour, I felt like I had to do a lot more, and it was stressing me out. And then I think, you know, you just realize that's just not you. And you also realize not everyone does do that. There are a few people, they grind out there for hours and hours, but a lot of people that don't. You know, they do it at home. And then when they come to tournaments, they're just there to do their business and then just head out. So I'd say probably just a couple of those things. But other than that, I've always stuck to what I thought would, you know, be best for me.
So we mentioned it earlier. A few months ago, you teamed up with your pal Nelly at the Dow Championship. First off, how far in advance do you and Nelly make the decision to play the Dow? Again, back to your LAT LPGA schedule balancing. When does that discussion happen?
So we have a group chat, me, Nelly, and Steph Kyriakou. And I just said, I think it was in January, I wrote into the group, I said, I don't care who it's going to be, but one of you is going to be my Dow partner this year. Because Steph was my partner 2 years ago. I just sent that message in the group and I was like, whoever it's going to be, I'm happy with both of you, but it's going to be one of you. And Nelly said she can play with me. So
did they fight over you?
Obviously. I mean, I'm a hot commodity. Come on.
But that's good because you get ahead of that. So they don't pair up together. Yeah. Very smart.
Well, you know, I might be blonde, but I'm not stupid.
So then who came up with a Legally Blonde team?
It was my idea. We were thinking about team names and I don't know why I thought about it, but I was like, oh, two blondes. I don't know why, but I just thought of Legally Blonde and it kind of stuck. So we thought it worked quite well for us. And and then this whole trend was going around with the Legally Blonde theme, you know, the bend and snap. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. So we kept sending each other these videos and we were like, we've got to do it. It's just, we can't not do it. It's going to be iconic.
Did either one of you need convincing to do that video?
Not really. I think we both saw like the videos and we kept sending each other, you know, different variations of people doing the bend and snap. And we were like, we've got to do it. Like it's so perfect with the team name. And like as a team announcement, we just thought it was good fun. And we were just playing around with it. None of us needed convincing. It was just a bit of fun. But it kind of went a little bit viral. but which we did not expect that. We were just doing it for like shits and gigs, but yeah, it was quite funny.
It's fun to see players letting their hair down a little bit, having a little fun. It's also on the heels of Nelly on another hot start to a season. Like all of those things combined for Tom and I do an award show at the end of the year of just best interview of the year, which you're now officially a candidate. Congratulations. But also, Tom, I think we need to introduce like our favorite viral moment of the year. Olivia, I can tell you that this Fergie song video is by far my leader in the clubhouse right now. How many takes did it take?
Do you know what? It probably took us about an hour to film, but that was only because we were, making some tweaks and we were editing it ourselves and stuff. So probably the first bit took us maybe 4 takes, and then the rest was just like, snippets of us just messing around and stuff. So it wasn't too bad.
You could tell you two were both. This was not the first time either one of you had danced. Like you could tell both of you at least had some rhythm to start all of this. I'm curious, did any dance moves like not make the final cut?
Yeah, probably. I mean, there were some questionable moves that we were doing, and we were like, no, we can't put that in. But we were kind of just being free with it, and just like, we if we were gonna post it, we're gonna make it fun and just kind of show the world something different from the usual golf content.
That's always the thing that I mentioned when people ever ask like the difference between PGA and LPGA. I think the LPGA players are just so much more fun. Totally. They're out here just willing to let loose and enjoy themselves and not be so buttoned up. It's refreshing to see.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we try and show a bit of personality. We have so many people that follow us for our golf, but they also want to know what we are like outside of the golf course and what our interests are, and meet us as a person, not just a golfer. So I think we do good at just showing that side of it.
How much of the job is playing golf versus building a brand and everything else that comes with it as you look at your role as a professional golfer?
I think obviously we all know how big social media is these days, and it almost just comes with the job. I think for a lot, not everyone does it, but I think it helps if you do. A lot of brands these days expect you to, have a social media account and build a brand from that. But I think to be honest, I mean, it's more of a girl thing though, isn't it? Like girls love social media. Girls love doing different things, showing different things. And I think it's just fun for all of us. I don't think it's more that we're building our brand. I think we're just trying to show a different side of us from golf. Because, we're not just golfers. We're also people that have a lot of other interests. And I think we like to show that.
Well, and
that's the relatable part. The golf part is not relatable.
Right.
This is the stuff that we can get on board with.
But I mean, let's be honest. The three of us all love golf. Golf is boring. I can already, while I'm scared to death of my 3-year-old daughter eventually being old enough for a phone and social media and all the things that come with that, I can very clearly see her wanting to follow in Olivia Cowan, who is, hey, this is a professional athlete who is also showing that there's a human side to all of this and that she enjoys fashion and coffee and all the things that come with that. Like, it shows a well-rounded human, whereas a lot of times professional athletes can come off as a bit robotic, right? Of this is just who they are. So I think just the personality side of that comes through a lot clearer. So let's talk about fashion. And we know you are a self-proclaimed fashion lover. Golf is a really interesting place for someone who likes fashion. I'm curious, especially as a female.
Yes.
What are your favorite, if any, parts of female golf fashion right now, and your least favorite parts of female golf fashion?
Ooh, I mean, personally, I love that a lot of brands are trying to branch out and, not just make fashion in golf, very golfy, but like also, something that you can wear to the golf course, but also wear to go somewhere else afterwards. It's not just meant for golf. You could also wear it casually, which that I'm really excited for because, I think for a long time, and that's what I don't like, is fashion in golf was it's very old fashioned. We stuck to a lot of rules, the collar, the lengths, like the t-shirts, it was very just boring, in my opinion. And I think now we're growing into something a lot more fun and kind of something that you can also show off your personality with fashion. So I'm really loving that and loving that all these brands are doing something different and trying to show another side of golf. And I think it's massive at the minute. I think it's a big thing. And, you see it on social media as well, all these fashion accounts and stuff showing outfits. And golf is one of those sports now where they're showing another side to it, the fashion side of golf, which you would have never have seen years ago. Like no one would ever post a video of what they can wear to a golf course because it was just boring. It was nothing. But now there's a whole new avenue to it, and it's really exciting.
Okay, so which LPGA golfer are you going to help? If you can't pick out your outfit, who are you going to make sure you are dressed? Let's go off the course. You're going for a night out. Who are you entrusting with picking out your wardrobe for the evening?
Okay. Number one, I'd probably pick Lily Mooney. The girl's got fashion. Yeah, I would definitely ask for her advice. But she's cool. Like I like the way she dresses. She loves a little vintage shop, getting something that's more old from the olden days and like mixing it with new modern fashion. And it's very quirky and cool. So I would say Lily, yeah.
Is there anyone you're willing to put on blast right now that you would never let pick out your outfit?
I mean, my close friends probably.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there are a couple. I'm usually giving them fashion advice, so I probably wouldn't ask for their advice.
Perfect. What are parts of tour life that people don't see?
Probably the downs of the sport. I'd say obviously everyone sees the ups, winning tournaments or playing well at a tournament, placing and having a great time. But no one really sees the struggle, coming off a bad round and having to deal with that mentally, having to, go back to your hotel, Airbnb, refresh, and then just kind of forget it and carry on the next day and try and shoot a good score. Like it's very mentally draining, I would say, golf. You're having to deal with a lot, and also being far away from home, living out of a suitcase, going to new destinations every week, trying to find, good food spots. There's always a challenge. I think a lot of people don't see that side of it.
When you aren't getting the results you're hoping for or that you feel the work you've been putting in should warrant, how do you go about assessing whether you need to change up something in what you've been doing from a practice perspective versus showing yourself some grace and being patient with the process?
Yeah, I think I've dealt with it in a lot of different ways, throughout my career. I've had times where I've been raging and I've not wanted to speak to anyone, and I've just gone back to my room. I haven't eaten, and I've just been so mad at what I have just done and mad at myself. And then tried to just, get up the next day and carry on, it's hard. And I think when you've done it for so long, and don't get me wrong, I still have those moments where I break down and I'm just sick of it. And I'm like, I'm trying everything. I'm grinding out there every single week. And I feel like I'm playing well, but I'm not getting the results that I should be getting. Mentally, it can just get to you. And that is probably the biggest fight. I'm learning. I'm still trying to be kind to myself and, kind of remind myself that it is a sport, that I grew up with it being a sport and it being a fun sport that I loved playing. But it does change a bit when it does become your job. I have bills to pay. I have a life to pay for. And yeah, it is a sport and it's supposed to be fun and it's a game, but it's also my livelihood. So it's a weird balance that you got to try and deal with when you're on tour. And I think when you're playing well, it's fine because you don't think of anything. You just play golf and it seems so easy. But when you're playing bad and you're in kind of on that downward slope, it gets quite hard. And I think you need a lot of good people around you to help you get back up.
I imagine a lot of that has to do with getting your mind off of golf, whether it's your caddy in mid-round or whether it's when you've had a good or a bad round. So this takes us to all of our off-the-course fun stuff that I promised you from the top. We introduced a game a couple weeks ago called the MC. Again, probably two letters you don't love a whole lot because it means a bad week on the golf course. But what we're going to do is we're going to give you a few, 2, 3, 4 things, and you have to decide which one of them misses the cut. You get to keep 3 of these 4 things, but one of them's got to miss the cut. And these are all good things. So you're going to have to squirm a little bit on this one. Let's start with a comfortable wheelhouse for you. For those of you that don't know, Olivia has a social media series she calls Coffee Chronicles. So we're going to start there first. You mentioned you have a full cafe setup. We're going to go with coffee drinks here. One of these 4 is going to miss the cut.
Okay.
Flat white, latte, cortado, or cappuccino? Which one's missing the cut?
I would say a latte.
Okay.
Yeah.
Describe to me the perfect flat white.
Oh, the perfect flat white. I mean, perfectly brewed espresso. The nice little bit of crema on top, and just the way you froth the milk makes a massive difference. So the nice, silky smooth texture that you can draw a nice little swan on it. That's the one.
Is your coffee art on point?
I'm getting there. There. Trust me, I practice every day.
Do you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the pictures
One day
we want to see.
I will nail that swan.
All right, what if we said vanilla, mocha, or hazelnut? Which flavor's missing the cut?
Vanilla, mocha, hazelnut. Mocha's like chocolate, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Vanilla.
I'm with you. Tom's a flavor guy.
Oh, yes.
Off the course, which one of these technological acts are you going to cut? Texting, GPS, streaming music, or online shopping?
Oof. That's hard. Do you know what? I'd probably say texts because I'll just call you instead.
Okay.
That's my logic. And I
like
need a GPS because I can't look at a map and know where I'm going. So I'm going to need a GPS. And I love online shopping and I love listening to music. So, yeah.
All right, let's go with the music here. Olivia Dean, Olivia Rodrigo, Olivia Newton-John. Do you know who Olivia Newton-John
Where's
is?
my name in it? Where's Olivia Cowan?
Oh, do you have some unreleased singles we need to hear? Do you want to debut an album?
Sadly, I do not. I'll stick to golf. But God, Olivia Newton-John. I mean, does she even really sing?
Oh, Olivia, I'm gonna send you some DMs after this. Yeah, I mean the whole Grease soundtrack, Physical. Oh.
Yeah, the
Bangers.
oldies, the good but oldies. Yeah, no, I like them all, but at the moment, I would say Olivia Dean is winning. I mean, she's incredible.
So what are we listening to right now? Whether it's on the course, warming up, on long plane flights, whenever you're listening to music, what's kind of top of your list right now?
I really like if we're talking genre, I would say kind of like house music.
Okay.
Like music that you would listen to in like a beach club or a pool party. That is something that I love listening to in the car or on the flights, stuff like that.
No wonder you and Hannah Green get along.
Yeah.
Hannah has some of the best music on her social media of anyone out there. Is the first thing I said to her when we met her. And I feel there's a lot of that house music vibe to it. So that tracks.
Yes.
Okay. You don't have, this is not a miscut game. I just want you to rank these 3 sounds of golf. And if I'm missing one, I want you to add one to the list. These are my 3 favorite sounds of golf. Putt drops, bottom of the cup, the thump from a perfect bunker shot, hitting the driver on the screws. Is there any other sound you would like to nominate for best sounds of golf?
Oh gosh. I mean, you picked some good ones there. The ball and dropping in the cup is always the best one.
For sure.
I would probably, I mean, I know you don't get it every week, but if you have a big week and there are big crowds and you hold a good putt or hit a good shot, you know, the clapping from the crowds, that's always kind of cool.
Olivia, how do you eat an Oreo? I had this discussion with my kids yesterday. I have a 10-year-old son. My daughter turned 9 yesterday, and we busted out what we call dirt and worms, which is literally just chocolate pudding, crushed up Oreos, and gummy worms, and they love it. It's their favorite dessert. And we had a full-on discussion. What is the proper way to eat an Oreo? So, Olivia, what's your answer on this?
So I get the question because a lot of people eat it very differently, and I guess a lot of people twist it, take out the white stuff, right? I just bite into it. It's very boring.
I twist, scrape off the cream,
Yeah.
and then eat the cookies separately.
That's a very unflattering way to eat something.
Oh, 100%. It's also very messy. I don't like that
sometimes I
part.
dip it in milk. That's always an extra.
That sounds like the correct answer.
Yeah.
I'm very boring. I just throw the whole thing in my mouth. So, okay. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Heck yeah. That is the right answer. Okay. Sock, shoe, or sock, shoe. How are you getting ready in the morning?
All right. I was very intrigued on where this question was going. Sock, shoe.
Mark, that's the right answer. There's no other answer to that question.
I'm really confused. Is that the wrong answer?
No, it's absolutely the right answer. This is a question that some people will go sock, shoe, and then switch legs, which Tom and I think is psychotic. But I'm waiting. I'm gonna get an LPGA player to say it, Tom. At some point, someone's gonna say sock, shoe.
Now, is this part weird? So I put on my socks before my pants, but I put on shorts before socks.
And
all of a sudden, this has turned into a non-Olivia Cowan interview.
Yeah, you know, I'm like trying to like think how I do it now, and I don't know. I think I put on clothes first and then socks last.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you travel more than probably anyone else in your life outside of fellow tour pros. Window or aisle seat?
Window.
Can you sleep on planes?
Yes.
That is a
I need
skill,
a window.
girl. Don't ever lose that.
Yeah, I'm good at sleeping. If there's one thing, I'm good at sleeping.
Golf and sleep. Those are two things those are aspirational things to be good at right there. Okay, you're going to your hotel, your Airbnb. Do you unpack at a hotel or live out of your suitcase?
I usually try and unpack, and this has evolved over the years, because I used to just leave everything in the suitcase, but now I've become a bit more OCD. So I try and unpack and like sort my outfits for the week so that I'm not stressed every day thinking of what I need to wear and when I'm wearing what. So I do that. And then I always tidy up my room now as well. I'm weird. I start making my bed. Yeah.
I think that's great. I also think there's a good mindset to that. Like, I'm going to be here for a while, so I'm going to unpack my clothes. I'm going to pull them out of the bag, put them in the drawers, because I plan on being here through Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's a mess. And then after like 4 days, I like start tidying up where I'm like, what's even the point? But it gives me a better mindset.
Yeah. Okay. You can go any way you want with this. Who would you be the most starstruck to meet?
Ooh, okay. I mean, no one in golf, I'll be honest.
Sure. That tracks. I'm the most starstruck meeting you, so you've already checked that box for me. So
probably someone like David Beckham or something.
Okay, so still in the sports world.
Yeah, I think there'd probably be some actors in there as well, mostly just because they're good looking. It's just nice to see them, you know.
It's a good reason. It's a good reason. Just don't go up to them like it's an LPGA tournament. Tell them you've been having relationships with them on social media, okay?
Yeah. Okay, I'll try not to next time.
I've heard that's not a good move.
Yeah.
Are you following the World Cup pretty closely?
I am, yeah. I am Team England. So we've got Norway on Saturday. So intense.
If England and Germany had played, where are your rooting interests on that one?
I'm Switzerland, so I'll just be in the middle.
Perfect.
That's
I'll just be like,
very nice
whoever
answer
wins.
there.
No. I think deep down, I know I played for Germany and I've grown up in Germany and that's considered my home and everything. But like my family's all from England. All of my grandparents are in England. I've always had Christmas in England. Like I've always lived kind of through an English way. So I'd say deep down, I probably would support England over Germany, but don't tell anyone.
We'll make sure that we don't publish this podcast just for that reason to keep you. We'll keep your secret safe, Olivia. What are some of the weirder things you've seen in your time as a tour pro, either just in travel or on the golf course? What are just some weird stories that you can share?
Oh God, I've never really had bad travel stories.
What?
So I'm quite lucky in that sense. I know I've never had stories where I've arrived and my clubs have been broken. Never had any of that. I've been very lucky. I don't think I have anything. It's very boring.
Okay, well then let's flip it. Where are you super excited to travel every year from a food perspective?
From a food perspective, I mean, anywhere in Europe, to be honest. Italy, amazing. Such great food. It's unbelievable. I would say that would be, if we could have a tournament in Italy, I think it would be everyone's favorite event of the year.
I hear you. When you go out on a Pro-Am Wednesday, what is your approach with your playing partners, assuming it's going to run the gamut of playing abilities in terms of how you engage with them and specifically whether or not you're going to comment on their golf games?
Mm-hmm. I never really comment on their game unless they ask me to. Then I'll like try and help them. But usually it's really, I think you get a vibe on the tee if you're going to have a very conversational round, or if it's going to just be playing golf and it's going to be quite intense. I think if you get a group where they're purely here to just win, it's quite draining for us pros, because obviously it's a part of our practice, but obviously we're also here to give them a great experience. And if they're trying to win, it puts a lot of pressure on us. And like, essentially, we don't care. We don't care if we win or not. Like, we're just here to have a good day, entertain them, make sure they have a great day and enjoy it, and, see other aspects of the course that we haven't seen yet. So, it's always hard when you get a group that wants to win.
Yeah.
Because we're like, oh, we're just here to have fun. But on the other hand, when you get a group that's, just there for shits and gigs and wants to have the best time ever, that's like the most fun day.
So what's on tap? What in the next month or so? What do you have on tap schedule wise?
I have the Scottish Open in 2 weeks. So I'm playing that. And then I'm playing the Monday qualifier for the British Open.
Okay.
And then I'm playing another event in London for the Aramco series for Gulf Saudi, which is always fun because it's kind of like a home event. It's not too far from where I live. And then we're back to America.
Well, it's nice to have a little bit of people call it the European swing. It's more of a home swing for you than anything else. Hopefully, do you get to spend a lot of time at home during this stretch, or will you be traveling a decent amount?
I'll still be traveling. I mean, it's nice when you can just travel and it will only be like a couple hours. Whereas usually I'm traveling to the States and it's like a 10-hour flight. So it's very different. But I've got 2 weeks off at home now, and then obviously Scotland and a couple events, more towards where I live. So I'll be at home a little bit, but also competing. So it'll be nice.
well, being that close to home, I have to imagine between your own kitchen and nearby, you're going to get your fill of the best coffee here over the next few weeks being in Europe. Olivia, this has been a blast. I wish we could do this for a couple more hours. We really appreciate you sharing so much about your backstory, the mentality of your game, and most importantly, just giving fans more reason to root for you. I know you've got two big fans in Tom and I, but really, first of all, good luck in the qualifier. We hope we get to see you out at Lytham here in a few weeks, but thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It was so much fun.
If you have suggestions for players or topics to discuss on the podcast, send us an email at fringecoverage@gmail.com, and make sure you follow us on Instagram at FringeCoveragePod. And whether you're approaching from the fairway or the rough, we've got you covered inside the Fringe.